So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Big Tech podcast. We are live on Facebook on Cameo podcast page. So, today we have an very interesting guest. We're talking about Gbite Oduneye. Yeah, I got it. I spelled it right.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fantastic, really fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. How is Big Tech so far? How do you find it?
It's been phenomenal, right? Today's the second day. I was here yesterday, spoke on a great panel yesterday, met a number of founders, spent a lot of time.
What was the panel about?
It was about fintech, insurtech, and regtech, right? Financial services and how technology are going to expand those three categories.
Yeah.
But it's been phenomenal. I've met a number of great investors, a number of fantastic founders.
Yeah.
The energy has been fantastic. It's my first time in Tunis.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect, It gives me that Santorini feel.
Okay.
Really beautiful city. But it's been fantastic. Big Tech has been awesome.
I got it. Even me, I think the quality of investors and startups here is really great.
Yes.
So I think
very
we're
impressive.
having this African event, finally.
Yes,
we have this community.
And not only that, you've brought in investors from pretty much everywhere, from
Middle
South,
East,
North, Middle East, from Europe.
Africa.
So it's been fantastic. I've bumped into a number of friends I haven't seen in a while, a number of investor colleagues in a while.
That's great.
So it's great to be here.
Yeah,
really
it's
good to be
huge
here.
work of Skander Haddar and its team again. Yeah, each guest says so, and I agree. So now we're gonna talk about you. So you worked across finance, tech, entrepreneurship for more than 20 years.
That's right.
And can you share your journey and what led you to ODBA?
Well, so I think at the basis of everything I do, looking back, because it's easier to look back now that you've gone through a number of things.
Yeah.
But there are a few things that I can see as the very foundation of what I do.
Yeah.
Africa, which has been one. I've always been in love with the continent, and what do we do to build the continent?
Yeah. Your treasure.
Yes.
Hidden treasure.
Yes, hidden treasure. Treasure. Innovation and entrepreneurship.
And
I think
smart people.
Yeah, and I think that goes hand in hand with the love for Africa, right? Because the continent forces you to be innovative and, forces you to be the cutting edge of innovation, actually, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously limited resources, a very difficult infrastructure ecosystem. So it forces you to be dynamic. But it has always been, Africa, entrepreneurship, and just the love of people, the want and the desire to make change. So that's pretty much the basis in which I build everything. But saying that, the story was normal. I grew up, I was born in England.
Okay.
Moved back to Nigeria as we do for, I think, when I was about 12.
Okay.
And you're there, and I returned back to England for A-levels. Went to university, did economics and politics, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And my background is financial services, so I was a stockbroker, hedge fund manager, a trader.
Yeah, that's a great career.
Yeah, well, financial services.
Are you a workaholic?
I suppose they say you don't work when you do what it is you love, right?
You love. But do you consider yourself as a workaholic? How does your day-to-day life looks like?
So it varies. There is a certain discipline in the amount of hours I do work, but there's sometimes...
Let's listen. Is he going to say wake up at 5 p.m. or not?
Not all the time. So there's sometimes... There are periods where you're very intense, and there are periods where you're not.
Of course.
Where you're like
Work
4
hard,
months.
play hard.
Exactly, you're 4 months, really intense, and there are periods where not. But, if you want to achieve great things and do, there's a lot of work that has to be put in.
Yeah.
So I do put in the hours, but like I said, I do enjoy what it is I do. So it's not particularly work. Of course, there are difficult times, but it's not particularly work.
Yeah.
And then I went from investment banking to... What I do now.
What
Venture
inspired you to do that?
Well, the move?
Yeah.
Well, in all honesty, like I said, I've always done Africa, from whether it was real estate, capital markets, because I do a lot for capital markets for a number of exchanges.
Okay.
And then actually contemporary African art. I'm an avid art collector of African art. But really it was this amount of capital that started coming into startups in Africa. That general belief, which we hadn't seen in a long time, where foreign capital was backing innovative founders under the age of 30, giving them millions of US dollars. So it was at that point I knew it was time to make that switch from capital markets
Yeah.
to venture capital, right?
Yeah.
Working with innovative founders across the continent
Yeah.
who want to build fantastic solutions,
Yeah.
right?
Let's talk about actually that's it, ODBA and venture capital. For listeners who are not maybe familiar with this, can you explain what venture capital firm like ODBA actually does exactly?
Okay.
Again,
So we invest in founders, right? So venture capital.
like very specifically, so people can get to. Some people are not familiar, so they're trying to understand the ecosystem. That's
Of course. So when you want to start a business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What people normally do, there are different ways in when you want to start a business. Some people will go to friends and family to get some money. Some people will go to the bank,
That's
right?
a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, some people will go to the bank to
Yeah.
loan money to start.
Yeah.
Now, venture capital, I'm a venture capitalist. So
Yeah,
venture
yeah.
capital is the capital that we give entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
founders,
Yeah.
that have very different ideas
Yeah.
and they want to build companies. How it differs, the major difference from venture capital to a number of the original businesses, that there's some expectations that come with venture capital.
Yes.
It's about growing fast, right?
Yeah.
It's about technology
Yeah.
to open and unlock markets.
Yeah.
It's about using technology to reach a vast amount of people
Yeah.
and to grow very fast at doing it.
Yeah.
Meaning that it differs slightly from the other ways of raising capital to do business. There's no difference. You're trying to build a business,
Yeah.
but with venture capital, you're trying to build a business very fast
Very
in a
fast.
market that is considered to be really, 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 really big.
So the criteria of the startups
What are they?
that profit from venture capital,
Well,
they need to be growing fast.
yeah. So you obviously you need to be growing fast. You want to serve a massive market.
Yeah.
Let me give you a practical example.
Yeah, example, yeah.
So, someone that has a shop,
Okay.
right? So he has a shop in the center of Tunis.
Okay.
So if you think about that shop in the center of Tunis, he's going to pay rent
Okay.
and he's going to stack his shop with goods
Yeah.
and services. Now that shop is going to serve people that are in that jurisdiction of
Yeah.
the center of
Yeah,
Tunis.
sure.
So this person will probably go to a bank and get a bank loan
Yeah.
to rent out a piece of, property and fill it
Yeah.
and then build the business gradually.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between that sort of business and the venture capitalist is this. Now, exactly the same thing, a founder will go and he will set up a platform online,
Yeah.
or he might even decide to set up the shop. But the difference is that founder wants to use technology to reach a vast amount of people.
I got it.
The other guy or the other lady can only reach people in the center of Tunis, or the
Exactly.
people that come near.
Yeah.
Whereas the other person wants to reach people in all over Tunisia,
Yeah.
in Algeria, in Egypt,
Yeah.
everywhere. And you're able to do that because you're able to distribute using technology. So similar products between one and the other, just that one is serving a much bigger market and is using technology to reach that
Yeah.
market. So like I said, one of the criteria is a very big market. The reason why we want it to grow fast is because you want to be able to test
Yeah.
whether your business plan works and continuously move with aggression to
Yeah.
get there.
What I get from what you're saying is that you have a mindset, you have maybe rules about what you're doing.
Yes.
So talking about the vision, mindset and leadership, you talk about like bridging capital, innovation and purpose.
And great words, and then people use these sort of words, innovation.
Okay.
I'm loose there, and to be fair, they mean different things to different people.
Okay.
For me, it's empowerment, right? It's the ability to live out your ideas and your dreams. As I said earlier on, if the fundamental of what I do is looking forward to the day where we build a great Africa,
Yeah.
it means empowering as many people as you can, working together with
Yeah.
similar minds,
Yeah.
with the dream to build companies in Tunisia that will serve customers in
Yeah, exactly.
Nigeria, serve
Yeah.
customers
Yeah.
in Kampala, So innovation, again, is just getting the best out of an entrepreneur, out of
Yeah.
an innovator.
But I think sometimes maybe you met like some boldness in entrepreneurs. How do you balance that with the practical need?
It's important because audacity is important.
How?
So if you want to build a massive company,
Okay.
and you're going to build a company that grows very fast, let me try to say it in another way.
Okay.
What I'm asking for you to do, if I was to invest in you as a founder, building VC,
Okay.
if you think about it, is to look into the future
Okay.
and have an opinion. What you think the future is going to be like in a year or 2 years?
Yeah.
how people will behave
Yeah.
in a year or 2 years,
Yeah.
and building a company
Yeah.
that's going to serve that future.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about all of that, you're thinking of a mindset that is not confined.
Yeah.
A mindset like an artist that is free and flexible, that has audacity.
Yeah.
How does a 32-year-old with little or no experience think about building a bank that's going to serve 1 billion
Yeah.
people across the continent?
Yeah.
There's a certain level of audacity that's important.
Yeah.
A way of thinking where there's no glass ceiling, and if there is a glass ceiling, we want to smash that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a certain level of ambition, a certain level of vision
Yeah.
that is required. Now, our job is to try and make that vision possible,
Yeah.
to bridge with all the resources that we have, because it's not just capital.
Yeah.
When you invest in one of these visionary founders, capital is the first thing.
Yeah.
Then there's coaching, there's introducing them to the right
Yeah.
networks, introducing them to
mindset,
policy,
yeah.
a number of things.
Yeah.
But the basis of all of that, as people say, you cannot pour from nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So we're
You're
looking
not far
for,
from nothing. Yeah.
To some people, a crazy guy or a crazy girl that has
Yeah.
dreams and aspirations that are just absolutely ridiculous to
Yeah.
some, right? So it's that audacity to see,
Yeah, audacity and
The
the
future.
fact that you believe in yourself.
Very
Definitely.
important.
Yeah, you believe in
because
yourself.
nobody else, you got to believe in yourself for other people to believe
And
in
you actually you are ready to stand up even when you fail. Exactly.
Ready to take the insults, the
Exactly,
laughs,
yeah.
the people
no
pointing fingers
especially.
at you,
Yeah.
exactly all those no's. You're ready to be misunderstood
Yeah.
till you're understood.
Exactly.
And that takes, it sounds easier and then said that can be very difficult. That
Okay.
could be lonely. And that's why we're there to provide this kind of support to our founders. But we look for audacity, right?
Yeah,
Audacity
exactly.
is important.
Talking about the founders, like what advice can you tell to the founders who just launched their startup and looking for fundings?
Well, one of the things that we make clear, and people don't say enough of it, is that it's competitive. Right, funding is like with everything. Whether
when you start, it's complicated.
No,
right?
well, so what I'm getting at, it's about mindset. And when I say competitive, what I mean is that it's the right mindset. If you approach the with the right mindset, then you know what you're up against. If you don't know what you're up against,
Yeah.
it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
And what I mean that it's competitive is that I want the founder to be ready. What that means is this. So you want to build a company doing whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
There's some certain things I would expect from you, like you would expect from anyone.
Actually, he built the company, but
Yep.
he's looking for funding. He didn't wait. He just built the company, and he's looking for funding because he doesn't have.
Yes.
Or he's gonna do like the love money, or he's going to the bank. But now he's looking for venture capital, as you said. What advice would you tell to him?
So really, I was getting it, meaning that you see, it's a business, not a charity.
Yeah.
We collect money, venture capitalists, from investors, and the plan is to return investors.
Yeah.
Right? Return that capital to
Yeah.
investors. So we want an entrepreneur, right? A founder that understands he can sell his business. You got to make me understand why you want the money and why you're
Yeah.
the person that's going to build
Yeah.
your company. Now, how do you do that, right?
Yeah.
So obviously,
And
the
the
first thing
potential
from a founder's point of view is they've got to be resourceful, right? Now there's the internet.
Yeah, the potential of the startup.
The founder should be able to tell me
Yeah.
if they're pre-seed or seed. What are the 100 venture capital companies in Africa that invest? It should be, there's a job for the founder. You want to build a company that's going to serve a number of people.
Yeah.
There's some expectations.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to raise capital, the first thing is that you need to do research to find out what companies invest.
Yeah.
Then you go further. What do they invest in? What check sizes they invest in? You present your business in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Because a number of startups might not like this, but it's important to be honest and truthful because it will help everybody.
Okay.
So you're telling me you want to build a company that's going to serve 100,000 people and you're going to make this amount of money, employ a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
But you cannot show me the ability to be resourceful, to put together a number of lists of companies that's readily available on the internet,
Yeah.
right? To find out who invests.
Yeah.
That my point is what I'm getting at is that there's some work for the founders to do.
Yeah.
I'll be here next year.
Yeah.
And it will become a normal thing. It's a beautiful city. Really happy to be here.
Really. You're
Thank you
more
so
than
much.
welcome. We're so glad you're here again. And it's a great discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.